Have you ever stopped for a moment when you saw a pile of dry leaves scattered across your yard? Maybe, like me, you once thought they were just trash, something to be swept away and forgotten. But one day, as I sat there quietly looking at those leaves, a question came to my mind. Are they really just waste? Or do they hold some hidden potential we've never taken the time to notice? What if the things we consider useless are actually full of value, just waiting for us to discover them? That question stayed with me for a long time and made me reflect deeply on how we look at the world around us. There's a very common belief, one I'm sure many of us have heard or even accepted, that dry leaves are nothing but useless debris. Even experienced gardeners often rake them up and throw them away, thinking they only make the garden look messy. But have you ever stopped to wonder, are dry leaves really that worthless? A friend once told me that for years, whenever leaves fell, he cleaned them up immediately. It wasn't until much later that he realized he had been throwing away a valuable resource right in his own backyard. Sometimes the things we assume have no value turn out to hold surprising potential, if we're willing to look a little deeper. In nature, dry leaves are like a massive nutrient bank gifted to us by the forest. When leaves fall, they don't just cover the ground. They protect the soil and feed countless microorganisms and insects. Have you ever noticed, while walking through a forest, that the layer of dry leaves under your feet is actually where a new cycle of life begins? As leaves decompose, they return minerals to the soil, helping plants grow stronger and healthier. Yet many people still see dry leaves as waste, rarely thinking about using them for gardening or composting. If we learn how to use them properly, dry leaves can become an essential part of environmental protection and sustainable living. Have you noticed that the dry leaves in your yard can sit there season after season without breaking down? Yet in nature, those same leaves quickly turn into soft, fertile soil. Why is there such a difference? Is there a hidden secret in the way nature works? One that allows leaves to decompose quickly in the forest, but so slowly at home? The answer isn't just about time or patience. It has everything to do with a few key factors we often overlook in everyday life. Dry leaves are rich in carbon, but they lack nitrogen, moisture, and easily available energy for microorganisms. That's why they decompose so slowly. Microbes simply don't have what they need to thrive. If you've ever piled up dry leaves and waited for them to break down, you've probably noticed they still look the same months later. Without enough nitrogen and water, microorganisms can't grow well enough to break down the leaf structure. Once you understand this, you'll know exactly what to add to speed things up. We often blame dry leaves themselves for slow composting, but the real issue lies deeper. Microorganisms, the tiny workers inside your compost, are hungry, thirsty, and cold. Without enough nutrients, water, or warmth, they simply can't do their job. Have you ever mixed your compost carefully, only to find that it never heats up? That's a clear sign that your microbes need better care. To compost faster, the key isn't some magical activator, as many people believe. The real secret is understanding biology, how microorganisms actually live and work. Microbes are a lot like us. They need food, water, and a safe environment. When you give them what they need, decomposition happens naturally and efficiently. Sometimes, just observing and listening to what's happening inside your compost pile is enough to find the solution. Once you truly understand the basic needs of composting microbes, everything becomes much simpler. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by all the expensive microbial products on the market? I have too. But the truth is, microbes only need the right conditions: moisture, air, and balanced nutrients. When those are in place, you can make excellent compost without relying on commercial products. A friend of mine once said that with kitchen scraps, leaves, water, and a bit of patience, the results were amazing. Science confirms this. Native microorganisms already exist all around us. We just need to create the right environment for them to work. Are you ready to try this for yourself? To prepare a microbial wake-up solution, start with clean water. It's the foundation for microbial activity. Next, add fresh compost or worm castings, which provide a rich and diverse source of microorganisms. Finally, use unsulfured molasses. It supplies energy and stimulates rapid microbial growth. Simply mix compost or worm castings into water, add molasses, stir well, and let it sit for a few hours. Have you ever tried making this solution yourself? If not, give it a try. You'll notice a real difference in your compost and soil health. Molasses acts as a powerful energy source for microbes, helping them become more active and efficient. Fresh compost brings in living microorganisms, the tiny workers that break down tough materials like dry leaves. Water softens the leaf structure and allows microbes to access organic matter more easily. Together, these three elements create a small but powerful ecosystem that dramatically speeds up composting. If you've ever walked through a forest, you've seen leaves and branches slowly turning into rich soil. This method follows the same principle, but with one important difference. We actively manage and accelerate the process. Instead of waiting years, we can reduce the time to weeks or months by adjusting moisture, temperature, and microbial activity. This approach allows us to turn waste into a valuable resource while staying in harmony with nature. Have you ever imagined yourself as part of that natural cycle? When starting compost with leaves, preparation is key. Choose clean, dry leaves and remove any diseased ones. Shred the leaves to increase surface area. This makes decomposition much faster. Moisten the shredded leaves with microbial solution or clean water until they're damp, not soaked. Cover the pile with a tarp or natural materials like straw to retain moisture and heat. These simple steps create the ideal environment for composting. After just a few days, you may notice the pile feels warm to the touch. That's the first sign of active microbial life. The leaves soften, darken, and the pile begins to shrink as decomposition progresses. A pleasant, earthy smell replaces any unpleasant odors. These changes are proof of nature's incredible ability to renew itself. One common mistake in composting is forgetting about oxygen. Without airflow, compost can stall or develop bad smells, even if everything else seems right. Microorganisms need oxygen just like we do. Regularly loosening or aerating the pile makes a huge difference. After 4 or 5 days, gently loosen the pile to create air pockets. You don't need to turn it aggressively. Sometimes a light touch works best. If the pile feels too dry or too dense, add more moisture as needed. A simple hand test can tell you everything you need to know. Avoid adding meat, fish, oils, chemically treated paper, or synthetic fertilizers. These materials cause odors, attract pests, and disrupt the microbial balance. Compost is a living ecosystem. Everything you add matters. After 10 to 14 days, you'll be rewarded with dark, crumbly compost that smells like forest soil. This is clean, natural nutrition for your plants and your family's food. Have you ever felt the joy of creating something so valuable with your own hands? Healthy soil means healthy plants and a healthier future. This method isn't about fighting nature. It's about working with it. We don't force results. We support life by giving it what it needs. Just as AI amplifies human intelligence when we understand the core problem, composting works best when we respect natural systems. When we listen, observe, and cooperate, solutions become simple and powerful. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing to the Compost channel. Together, let's continue the journey toward greener, smarter, more self-sufficient living. We're not just growing plants, we're rebuilding trust in the soil, in nature, and in ourselves.